All right, Trader's Xbox. I'm just calling it that. We can't really call the product Xbox for obvious reasons, trademark issues. The real product's name is PowerScan-Pro. Now, why are we calling it the Trader's Xbox? Well, because it's the most powerful possible trading tools instantly harnessed with a few clicks, which I will show you. It's like everything's just there. No fumbling around, no going to different windows, no running different programs, etc. Also develops trading skills. This is like really important because there's always some improvement you guys can have, and myself included. I work on this stuff day and night for years, and you can always get better. And this product is perfecto for that. And it's addictive and fun. Seriously, like this is something you could be doing at 2 in the morning and you can't let it go. Believe me, I know. And Moby's like that too, which is why I wanted him to do the webinar last week because he loves this stuff, and hopefully all you guys will as well. All right, this is what the product looks like. Everything's all there in one window. Now, of course, the heart and the hub of the whole thing is your master list. Now, you guys have seen all this kind of sort of before in Stock Vision, and so on. Now, as usual, you can, of course, sort by columns. You can look at different columns, and all this, of course, moves in real time while the market's open. Now, with one click, you can get the list of filters, the PowerScan filters. I don't want to go into a lot of these because A, you guys are usually familiar with it already, and B, that's really for a different video, different webinar. But by clicking on a filter, you get in real time the stocks that match that criteria. Now, I just clicked, I'm showing the example here as breakouts. You selected breakouts, and it's showing 3 stocks, and of course you click on the stock and you get the chart instantly. And you click on the next one. You just thumb down with the arrow key or scroll arrow or scroll wheel, whatever, and you go chart, 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 chart. It's right there. Everything's there. Now, you guys have seen this sort of thing before, but you're going to eventually see stuff that you can't really do that easily with the existing products. I like this one, okay? So I click Add Watcher, and boom, it adds it to your watch list. Again, it's all there before your eyes. Now, one thing neat about the watch list is it shows you totals. It shows you like, it'll tell you how much, the moment you post it, it'll accumulate gains from that point. So you can see how you would have done had you traded it. And of course, it gives you totals, grand totals at the bottom of your list. The other products don't do that. Now, I decided I like that one. I want to practice trading it. So I go buy on the paper trader, and boom, now it's in the order queue for the paper trader. So we've got list, filters, chart, watchers, paper trader, all with just a few clicks. That's a lot more powerful than it looks. Now, what if you're having a bad day? What if you need more practice? Well, lo and behold, on the same window, you have market replay. So you can select another date, another time, and replay the entire market tick by tick. In this example, I'm selecting September 18th. Now, what that means is, it's going to go back to September 18th. I'm going to show you that live here in a sec. And it'll replay the market starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and will play you tick by tick the whole entire market. And you can use everything in the program: the filters, the lists, the watch list, the paper trader, whatever. This is where the Xbox really comes in, because you can be practicing at 3 in the morning, the stock session that occurred yesterday or the day before or whatever. Now I'm going to go live to the product and select September 18th to show you what I'm talking about. This is the live product. I go September 18th. It's going to think about it. It's got to load a whole bunch of data to start your tick by tick session there. Okay, it's ready. Now I'm going to start it. Click start. Now, it's going to play, the speed in which it replays depends on your dial right here, your speed dial. You can literally go fast forward, rewind, etc., etc., etc. Now, everything works. The filters will work against this list. I'm going to go fast forward. See how everything's moving in real time. And of course, I can sort by volume, percent gain, or whatever, the usual. Add them to watch lists. Now, one thing Moby was showing you guys that he went into it immediately, and so it might not have been that clear, was that this version of the master list has all new columns that the other products don't have, which are very powerful. I'm going to show you some of those in a sec. But one thing I wanted to point out, let's go back to my little show here. The obvious reaction is, isn't this the same as previous products? What is so new about this? Well, yeah, obviously a lot of stuff has been borrowed from previous products, but the best tools of the previous products are all put into one. But there are some new items. One thing that's new and powerful are column values. That's what I wanted to show you. If in any given master list, you can, of course, change your columns. The columns are really the value of the stock item that you want to see. To do so, we go here to stock columns, and you can change them. And look at all the columns available. There's a lot here that are not in Stock Vision. One of them, for example, is, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Guys, oh yeah, high low. It's called HL. Okay, and by the way, if you want to see what these do, go into the column wizard and you just click on it, and right down here it tells you what the column is. So I don't want to get any emails or messages. Gar, what is column blah blah blah? All you do is you click on it and it'll tell you what it is down here. Okay, but HL is called high low. That will tell you which stocks have just recently hit a new high or new low, depending on whether it's an H or an L in there. You can, of course, sort by that. Now, every one of these stocks right now in Market Replay is showing a new low. If I want to see new highs, I go high. Now, all these guys are showing a new high for the day in real time. Now, what Moby liked to do is he liked to color those. You can do that with preferences. Yeah, here, let's just do new highs. Color for session high is this weird green here, okay? We go apply. Now, that means that that green highlight means new high. And a lot of traders really like that. They really like to know if a stock's making a new high right now. And I agree, that's a very important factor. Okay, what else is in here that's not in the other product? Well, let's go look at the columns again. Well, there's a whole slew of columns because I want to tell you something that's in here that's not in the product anywhere. In fact, I'm not aware of any products out there, period, that'll do this to the level that we can. That's right. Well, actually, I got to take it back to live market to show you this. Okay, live market, that means that's the current session. Check it out. Extended hours. All right, extended hours. Look at all these guys making a new high in extended hours. What you're seeing now is a list that is tapping into the extended hour after hours trading and after hours action in real time. It will show you pre-market action starting at something like 4 a.m. Eastern time. You can see all the gap ups, gap downs. You can see the trading action, etc. And all the same columns apply. You can set up any kind of list you want. Now, this right-hand column here tells you the last date and time that a extended hours trade existed. By the way, one little trick I want to show you that's kind of off topic, but it's important. You click on these yellow bars, you open up its own window. So if you don't like the little scrunched one window thing, you have floating windows of any of these guys. Ooh, look at all those new highs and after hours. I just got a Windows message. my my Explorer has crashed. Great. Okay. Mind you, it's not my product that crashed. All right. Um, Now, here's another column. News. News. Okay, you see that news column? Okay, that one there has a 6. You know what that means? It's FB, which is Facebook. 6. That means within 6 minutes, within the last 6 minutes, there's been a news story. So you can see which guys are getting the news right now. If you want to see what it is, you double click and it'll tell us what the news stories are for Facebook. It's powered by Yahoo Finance. And it says here, Facebook's free internet access program in developing countries provokes backlash. Okay, great. If you want to actually see that story, I don't want to do it right now as it takes too long, but it'll launch your internet browser and show you that actual story. But news, I personally don't use news a lot, but a lot of people do. So this is not just extended hours. Let's go to regular hours. This news is true for any list. If you want to put that column in there, you can sort by it, of course, and the number means how many minutes the most recent story is. Pretty slick. And by the way, the columns you can set for after hours. Let's see, stock columns. By the way, you can trade on the paper trader in after hours as well. I'll show you that in a sec. Any column that starts with X, like X last, X volume, that's extended hours. So X last means the last trade price. X volume means the current extended hours volume. X days, that's how many days since the last trade. That's kind of important because let's say a stock normally doesn't get a lot of action. If you see a trade occur in the extended hours and the last trade was 5 days ago, that could be significant. That stock hasn't been getting any action until now. X close percent, that means it's gain or loss from the last session close, et cetera, et cetera. X time is the time of the last extended hours trade. XV change, the change in volume since the last trade. All very powerful stuff. Somebody told me that you can't find an after-hours scanner like this anywhere, let alone our products. I don't know if that's true or not, but that alone, by the way, is worth this product. Now, I said you can trade in after hours. Okay, there's a trick, though. Just like real life, if ever you guys have traded in after hours, you have to do limit orders only. You can only do limit orders. It doesn't tell you that in my product here, but it won't trade, it won't execute unless you do limits. So let's go. Let's say I want to trade Twitter at after hours. Its last price is $26.60. Let's put a limit order for that price. It already filled in Twitter for us on the paper trader. Let's go limit. By the way, don't get bored and leave because I'm going to show you a technique to make some money, okay? Something I've developed in the last couple of weeks. What do we want? 2660? Yeah, something like that. If it doesn't execute, we'll have to bump it up a little bit. 2660. Let's go buy 100 shares. Hey, it executed. Why? Because our limit order matched the last trade price. And so you can paper trade after hours. Don't underestimate the power of paper trade. You can get all emotional and upset when you lose, just like real life. You get excited when you win, like real life. And the most important of all, you could do market replay and practice. That's the power here, see? All right, let's go back to our show here for a sec. Oh yeah, I already showed you the new columns. Time news, which I showed you, and extended hours, which I showed you. Those three things are new and not to be underestimated by any stretch. And one reason I'm harping on this is I don't want to hear anybody say, because this product is not free, even if you bought everything from us before. It's not free. Huge discount if you bought from us before, but it's not zero. And the reason is because it is a new product and it's got features that don't exist anywhere else. And you don't have to buy it. We still support the old stuff. Okay, now I want to give you a little money-making tip. What GAR webinar is good unless I show you a little trading technique, right? Why systems fail. Systems do fail. How many times, if you've been around a long time, how many times have you thought you had found the golden goose and the system works great, or some system, and it works great, all of a sudden, boom, it fails, and then fails. You know, one of the best examples I can give is years ago, right near in the bear market after the NASDAQ, after the dot-com bubble crashed, broke, the play of the century every single morning was the gap down. A stock would spike down in the morning like a big gap down, and you jumped all over it and it would gain like 4 or 5, 6, 7, 10%, like in 5 minutes. It was like a gold mine. And we'd play the gap down almost every morning. This went on for weeks and weeks, months even. Then all of a sudden it stopped working. Just stopped. And the market went on for years with a gap down, didn't do jack. And I don't know why exactly, except for this. Systems fail because markets change, patterns change, things change, stuff changes. You know, my own personal theory is that a new group of people filter into the market. That's number one reason why systems fail. You know, they have different trading characters, you know, new algorithms, new high frequency trading, whatever you want to call it. And the other theory is that once everybody finds out about a certain method that works, if too many people get in on it, it stops working. That's my theory about why the gap down started failing, because everybody and their mother was jumping all over the gap down, and it ruined it. Because the moment it would gap down, it would spike up so quickly with people jumping on it, you didn't have to get a chance to get in. And the other problem is the reverse. The gap down would start to rally a little tiny bit, then people would sell their position, go sell, and it would just stay low or go lower. So too many people are in on it. That's another big reason. But because of this, the only way you can consistently do well in the market is you have to observe and see what is working. And I'm going to show you one that I've spotted recently. This one pattern works so well that it's almost, I don't want to use the word guarantee, but you can find winners literally every day, even in a terrible market, with this one pattern. Now, this is only true for now. It might fail next week, but that pattern is this. What I'm showing you is just an example chart. I'm going to try to grab a pen here so I can show you. Yeah, this is a sample chart. This is a 60-minute interval chart. The 60 minutes is important. I'm showing an 8-period moving average, or exponential moving average. And what I've observed with a lot of stocks is what this particular setup with this 8 EMA and 60 minutes, once that price hovers below that moving average for a couple of bars, remember that's pretty long. That's like 2 hours if it's 2 bars. Once it grovels below that line for a couple hours, it continues for hours or even days sometimes. The reverse is true. When it pops above that line for a couple of times, it rises. See how that's rising for like 2 days. Here's another example. It broke above that line here, and it rises like way, way up here. Right here, it finally is breaking below the line. You see that? And look at the Kreischerama. So you could play it in both directions. Now, let me show you something really fascinating from this observation. Let's go back to PowerScan-Pro. And let's go back to the 21st. The reason I'm picking the 21st again is because I ran this date at random this morning to see if that observation I showed you with a 60-minute chart, I was going to see if that still holds true, even for the recent market. So we're going to start the 21st. Okay, it's starting now. I'm going to zoom ahead a couple hours. Why a couple hours? Well, because I want at least two 60-minute bars to be in the charts for today, okay, or for this session. So let's zoom ahead. Okay, that's 1 hour. See how fast it goes fast forward. It's pretty cool. We're almost there at 2 hours. Okay, we're at 2 hours. Now let's run. I made a filter. Let's pause this for a sec. I made a filter to detect that exact pattern, and let me show you that filter. By the way, when you want to do a filter, your own filter, you do configure filters from the menu up there. I made a filter called ramping higher, which detects that pattern I just showed you. I'll go over it real quick. I got 3 EMAs. They're all 8 period, and the chart's all 60 minute. Now notice each EMA I have different bars it's looking at. This EMA is looking at 2 bars ago. It might be hard to see on the screen, but that formula is for 2 bars ago, the price to be above. Actually, no, in that case, the price wants to be below because I want it to cross over. So 2 bars ago, it's below the EMA. Then suddenly 1 bar ago, it's above the EMA. And for the second bar, the current bar, it's also above the EMA. So what this formula, what this filter is doing, it's looking for stocks that were below the EMA on a 60-minute chart 3 bars ago, and now it popped above, and it's been hovering above for 2. And that finds the pattern that I'm talking about. It's called ramping higher. And by the way, in this product, you can share just like you could in the old PowerScan. Like if I wanted to publish this guy, I think I already published it, so you guys can get it off of the shared. And the way you get it, by the way, is you go into filter configuration, and you go import, and by golly, there's all the filters that everybody's published for the last several years. If you go down here to, if I sort by author, I go on here to GAR. Where is it? Come on, GAR, where are you? There you are. I don't have a whole lot, but yeah, there it is, ramping higher. You can import it and use it. Anyhow, that's for another webinar, this whole filter thing. So we're here on market replay. Let's continue. Let's go ramping higher, the filter. It's going to scan the September 21st session of where we're at right now. Okay, come on. It's thinking about it. There. Okay, let's look at them real quick. And you know me, if you guys have been around a while and seen me do this, you know the kind of stuff I usually like to look for. I don't like that one because it's near resistance, all right? I don't like that one because it's right smack on resistance. Same with that one. Now that one's good because it has some room to run. Because resistance is right here, the stock is right there. So let's pick that guy. Let's add it to watchers. And that might be a possibility because it's breaking above resistance. So let's add that one. But I really like that previous one. Okay, let's see here. Add watchers. Now, a really fast way to see how you're doing is 2 ways. One is you can go fast forward, which we'll do here. Look at that thing gain. Isn't that beautiful? Well, it's not that much yet, but it's showing us the gain on those two, and they're both green. But one way to really see how you did is to go to the next day, because it'll stay on your watch list. Okay, the next day means the session is ended from yesterday, and oh, I added the same one twice, didn't I? I better go back. I had the same one twice. It's up 0.3%. I think what was it anyway? Zoes or something? Yeah. I'm pulling a Moby here. No, I'm just kidding. So, Moby, if you're in the audience, I'm sorry. I didn't really mean that. I'm starting at 21st over again and zooming in because I want to add that stock. It's when I did that this morning, Zoes was beautiful. And it really fulfills my pattern that I've detected here. So I actually added the same stock twice to my watch list. All thumbs me. All right, we're good. Zoes, where the hell are you, Zoes? Zoes. Okay. Add watcher. There we go, Zoes. Now let's go to the next day. I think this is the one that I really liked. Yeah, look at that, 2%. 2% gain in one session. This is what really blew my mind. I go to the next day, right? The 23rd. After that, okay, it's thinking about it. It's loading the data. Look at that, 3.59%. This was no fluke. This is no like little flimsy day trade, gains on a fluke, right? Go to December 24th, which was today. Okay, this will be the start of today's session. Look at that, 5.6%. Now, what I'm curious about is if that's still gained, even in today's bear market fest. Let's go to live market and see what. Give me a break. Zoes is 14%. Okay, now, granted, it's up 14% since we quote unquote traded it with my wonderful 60-minute chart pattern detector. Now, look, I got to emphasize this. First of all, you're not going to get 14%ers all the time, especially in this horribly biased bear market that we're in. But the most important thing to emphasize is this is a pattern that I've just watched and observed and detected, which seems to be holding up lately. I did one today, CAR, the symbol was CAR. I even mentioned it in Gar's Gold. I didn't mention how I found it, but I found it with this filter. And mind you, the Dow was minus 260 when I found this stock. At the end of the day, it ramped to like 3% from that point. So it's pretty amazing. Anyhow, what I'm going to say is this just happens to be a pattern that works right now. There are other patterns that work that I don't know about, and this pattern itself might start failing pretty soon. We don't know. My point is you need to practice. PowerScan-Pro was made for the practicing trader, the guy that wants to sit there while the kids are playing the real Xbox. You can play this Xbox over and over. You didn't do well, do it again. Roll the market again with replay. It's beautiful. Study after hours, study different patterns. All right, prices. Remember I said it's not free. I wish it were free, but you know what? We're a business. We have to, it's very expensive to run this thing. And another thing too is there's a new data feed that powers the after hours and extended hours. So, and the news, frankly. So that's another reason it's expensive, right? So and it's also a new product, and we can't just give away stuff for free forever. Now, what you already bought, you already own. You'll be able to use that older stuff forever. So I don't want to hear any complaints. The price will be $495 lifetime. But wait, if you already have PowerScan, which most of you do, or you've got the VIP service, which a lot of you do, it's $89. Now, come on, that's absurd, right? $89 versus $495. But because you already have a very similar product, that's the reason for the big break, the 89, which is insane. You're going to get this thing forever for less than 100. Now, if you don't own anything, you're brand new. I don't know if there's anyone out there watching that is, but if you are, this is good for $295 lifetime until Monday. By the way, that 89 lifetime is only good till Monday. We got to be very strict about this because, frankly, we're going to lose our proverbial ass on this price. Seriously. How do you buy it? If you didn't, by the way, a lot of you guys have bought it already, so you don't have to do anything. But if you want this thing at this bargain basement ridiculous price, you go to the best way, the easiest way to get it is to go download it, which you go to garzworld.com, go to the download page. There's a download link on the top right, and it'll show you PowerScan-Pro. Just download it, install it. When you run it, it'll go, hey, Bub, you need to pay for this thing. That's it. And you click buy now. It'll take you to the buy process on our website. And when you enter your username, now don't freak out. It's going to tell you it's $4.95. When you enter your username and hit submit, it'll then discount it down to $89 if it detects that you bought PowerScan in the past. All right? And on that note, I'll answer any questions you people may have. And I see Summer here. The only question I have here is somebody says, is Richard in the audience? I don't even know who Richard is. Come on, certainly you guys must have other questions. Unless I did this so perfectly that you don't have any questions. I'll wait for a few. Ooh, one thing I failed to mention, everybody owns this product. There's going to be a mobile app that does most of this stuff. Yes, there really will be a mobile app as soon as possible. You'll get that 100% free also if you own this thing. Just thought I'd throw that in. Do I have Richard Hilger's algorithms in your program? No, I don't. I've got my own algorithms that have been developed for years and years and years. Well, all the chart indicators, for example, is standard. You get that all over the place. And, for example, computing the MACD is the same everywhere. So, yeah, I have all that kind of stuff. So let me ask a question. The replay does have intraday data as well, correct? Yes and no. Let me wait. There's a preview. Before I answer that one, there's another one here that Paul has, which is, can you do colors for new high-low again? Yeah, I'll do that real quick. You wanna look at the new high-low, which is the HL column. Right now I've got green selected. If you want to change the colors for that, you go to preferences. Remember, this product has a menu up here. Our other products don't have menus, so just don't forget that. Go to preferences, and these two here, it says color for session high and color for session low. If I wanted to change that color for session high, I just bring up the color wheel and change it. Let's say I want it to be a nice bright blue. And of course, the preferences won't take unless you go apply changes. There, see, now it's this nice bright blue. It's hard to read. I don't like that. That's how you do colors for session high and low. Oh, you're going to have to put the HL column on there if it's not there. You'd go to stock columns and find the HL column and drag it up there. Right now it's already there. But if it wasn't, you see, I would have to take it and drag it up to where I wanted it, like say right there. You see that? Okay. All right, let's see what the next question was. Yeah, the replay does have intraday data as well, correct? And the answer is yes and no. And let me explain that. Yeah, the actual replay itself absolutely plays intraday data down as low as 1 minute. However, one thing that doesn't work right now that's going to be changed in in a little while. The one thing that won't work is you cannot do filters that use intraday data prior to the current session. So, for example, let's say you have a filter that looks at 5-minute bars. That'll work as long as you're far enough into the session where there's enough 5-minute bars accumulated. The problem is Market Replay doesn't have enough data to look at the 5-minute bars from yesterday's session in the replay. You see what I'm saying? So yes, intraday data will show up on all your charts, but if you do filter scans, it's only going to scan the current session. It can't go to like yesterday, the day before session to look at those bars. That's a limitation. Oddly, though, that's not as big of a limitation as you think because 98% of all the filters are on a daily chart anyway. Daily chart does go back and look at previous days on Market Replay. If one has only PowerScan-Pro or StockFish, do you need any other program? Well, it depends on what you mean by need. I mean, if all you have is StockVision 2015, let's say, which contains a version of PowerScan, which contains things like smoking gun, etc. If you're happy with that, you don't really need anything else. Then no, you don't need anything else. If you want to trade extended hours or want to have extended hours scanning, you need PowerScan-Pro because our other products don't have that. So it all depends on what you need. If you don't have Market Replay enabled in the other product, you want to have that as well. So it comes down to what the word need means. Let's put it this way, we're not going to stop supplying data to the older products. Those are still going to work. Is 8 EMA special for some reason? Yeah, it's just that when I saw it, when I noticed that when the on a 60-minute chart, when the price hovers above or below, I just noticed that 8 EMA seems to be the most accurate. I tried a whole bunch of different numbers, 10, 12, 5. 8 seems to be the best. It's just an observation. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's an observation. When will the app be available? iPad, iPhone. Well, it's funny you asked that because iPad, iPhone will be the first incarnation. Then after that will be like Android. And the reason for that is because our specialty is Mac and iPhone, so we know about that. Android is going to be somewhat of a learning curve. God, I wish I can give you a date. All I do know is that our business depends on it because one of the things that's been killing us in the last year or two is mobile. The whole world has gone mobile. So the fact that we don't have a mobile app really limits our users. So we have to come out with this thing. And it's going to cost, unless you own the product already, then it'll be free. So the answer is when, and the answer is as soon as possible. I'd like to see it before Christmas, before the winter. And that's what I'm shooting for. First things first, so we had to get through this one. Any other questions? Hey, I'm proud of the fact that I've held the audience. Last week, 50% of the viewers dropped out. Right now, I only see 2 people have dropped out. That is so cool. Any other questions? I'm trying to think if there's anything I forgot to show. There probably is. There's a lot of features here, but all right. There's no other questions. I'm going to end the webinar. And as usual, I want to thank everybody for attending. Remember, the special is only good till Monday, because we are not a nonprofit organization, but we try to be fair. All right. Okay. I'm ending off. Thanks for attending.